I just don't know what to do. I've planted my crops and they just won't grow. Who could I call? Dr. Dirt.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now.
Hey Melissa, man, you're right. These crops sure ain't growing. Well, not to fret. Dr. Dirt is my name and soil is my game. So today we're gonna take a look at your soil and do a few tests to see if it's your soil that's the problem.
Thank you so much.
Follow along with us, guys. Today we're gonna do 5 scientific tests that will measure physical properties and life in the soil. And as we do this, I'm gonna be taking notes on my clipboard to see if this soil passes the healthy test. We're first gonna check for soil critters. We're gonna do that by digging down 6 inches. The edge of my trowel has inches, so the whole trowel head is about 5 inches. So we've got to go about 1 more inch deep.
Now I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes and count how many organisms I see.
Man, our 4 minutes is up, and guys, I only counted 6 organisms. I saw earthworms, some ants, a spider, little whitefly, but it takes about 10 to 15 organisms to call a soil pretty healthy. So we're gonna have to say not pass on the organisms test. The next thing we're gonna look for is specifically earthworm. Now, earthworms are important because their waste adds lots of organic material to the soil, and the way they build their tunnels under the soil creates air tunnels, and that allows roots to grow into the soil. That's called aeration of the soil. And if you have lots of earthworms, you have healthy aerated soil. So let's take a look. Because I've already dug my hole, I've pulled up a lot of soil. And so now what we're gonna do is sift through our soil and see if we can look for earthworms. All right, guys, so we just finished our earthworm test, and we did find 3 earthworms in our 6-inch depth. So we can say that we passed that test. Now our next one is actually looking at the physical properties of the soil instead of the life within it. So we're gonna look at the structure of the soil. Now to do that, I'm gonna take a big handful and squeeze it and then try and break it apart. And if it breaks apart and forms little bitty crumbles, that means that it doesn't have too much clay in it and it's healthy. So we want it to crumble. If it doesn't crumble and stays in one big block, that's unhealthy. So let's take a look at our soil. All right, so I'm gonna take a big scoop, pour it in my hand, and now I crumple it. Now I'm gonna see if this can break apart. So after I apply some pressure to make it one big ball, I'm gonna apply a slight amount of pressure, and if it breaks apart easily, which it just did, we have pretty healthy soil. So you can see it's breaking apart into these small little pieces called aggregates. So that's great, we have healthy soil. So our 4th soil test is one on workability. And this is gonna measure how compact our soil is or how tightly packed it is. So the way we measure this is we can take a yardstick or a piece of wire, and we're gonna push the yardstick down into the soil and see how far it goes before it stops. The goal is to get it to go at least a foot into the soil. This just makes sure that our soil isn't too compact for our roots to grow. So let's make sure I'm going the right way. All right, here we go. Wonder if I hit a rock.
Is that it?
We are at 7 inches. So not great. Let's see if I didn't hit a rock or something and I can try another spot. See if it's like that all the way down. Oh, this one's a little closer to a foot. We've got 10 inches. We're looking for 12 inches. Let's try one more section. Ooh, we're even closer with that one. 11 inches. So for this one, it looks like we did not pass. I tried in multiple different spots, the max depth that we went down into the ground was only about 11 inches, so we didn't get to that 1 foot marker. So we're gonna have to say that for that one, we didn't pass. So like we talked about in test number 2, we were looking at earthworms, and the earthworms aerate the soil or put little tunnels in it, and that's so that our plants could grow roots right through the soil. Now our 5th and final test is to see if we actually have great root development or root growth. And we're gonna do that by pulling up one of our plants and seeing if the roots are really long and going into the soil, or if they've kind of stopped growing because the soil is not aerated. Let's check out this little basil plant. You can see lots of the little roots forming of the basil plant. And so we can say, let me dust off some of this dirt. We can say that we have healthy root development because we have these nice root tendrils growing.